Hey guys, former film student back today with another video. We are on episode 6 of my 31 Nights, 31 Frights series. Apologies for this one not having my face in it. I'm recording this one before work and I felt like it would be just a little bit more efficient to just do the audio and to put some clips over top of it. This will not be the normal, but anyway, let's get into this episode. So we're breaking away from our classics binge and discussing a more recent horror film, that being Robert Eggers' 2017 folk horror film, The Witch, or in some cases, the VVitch. The Witch is easily one of my favorite horror films of the last 5 years. I remember seeing it in theaters twice back in 2017, and it's a film that I've watched several times since then. For this to be Robert Eggers' directorial debut is actually mind-blowing to me. From a directorial and technical standpoint, this movie is absolutely fantastic. While I do have some issues with the color palette and the color grading in the film, a lot of the images have a gray, flat look to them. Everything else from the sound design and musical composition to the brilliant cinematography are all fantastic. You would have guessed that this was helmed by a director who had at least 3 to 4 films under their belt, but between this film and The Lighthouse, it's clear Eggers has a firm grasp on how to direct a film. Unlike The Lighthouse, The Witch does not have any humor in it. What it does have, though, is an excellent family drama element that makes its characters and their interactions just as fun to watch as the incredibly frightening scenes. Very similar to Hereditary, the family drama elements are almost in the forefront and the horror stuff is more of a complementary factor. But it all blends together incredibly well, adding to the experience and creates a very entertaining film. This movie also has a lot of themes dealing with religion, and a lot of the conflict in the film stems from the main family's religious superiority, which adds a lot of depth and subtext to the film. Something we rarely see in horror films and is almost reminiscent of films like The Exorcist, which also deals heavily with religion. As previously mentioned, this film works really great just as a movie. It's incredibly well constructed, as well as just having interesting characters and interesting interactions between them. However, as a horror film, this movie is still really good. Obviously, horror is subjective, and what scares me might not scare someone else, but for me, it's still a very scary movie. What this film does really well in terms of horror is the fact that for most of the runtime, it's the suspense and dreadful atmosphere that make up most of the horror. Yes, there are visually terrifying scenes in the beginning and the end, but the middle portion of the film is handled extremely patiently, and in my opinion, further proves the statement that less is more. It's something you don't see in many mainstream horror films, but for this film, there's a solid chunk where nothing extremely scary is happening on the surface, but the looming sense of tension created from the family drama and the great tone established and maintained always had me feeling uneasy. And this scene still gets under my skin.
Boo! There you are. Boo! Where are Sam? Where is Sam? Where is that little man? Boo! There you are. There you are. Boo!
But speaking on the ending scene, the last 10 to 15 minutes of this movie still sends chills down my spine. The imagery and sound design complemented by the haunting score all just work together to create a bone-chilling conclusion. Many consider this film to be a slow burn, and while I don't ever really find the film to drag, it is more of a patient film in terms of its storytelling. But to me, even if you find this film to be on the slower side, the ending more than makes up for it in my opinion and is a great final payoff. Okay guys, that is all for this episode. This one was a little bit on the shorter side. The lack of video on my end makes it so that this stuff is a little more concise in terms of my thoughts on a film. But I do hope you are enjoying my Halloween series so far. I have a lot of fun movies coming up that I'm really excited to talk about and discuss. Thanks to everyone who's been continually watching and supporting. Let me know in the comments if you have seen The Witch and what you thought about it. I know it's a pretty divisive film even amongst horror fans, and I acknowledge that it's not for everyone, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to click the like button. Subscribe to me if you want to hear more from me, and click the little bell notification so that you do get notified when I post new videos. Keep a lookout for more upcoming episodes in my 31 Nights, 31 Frights series, and I will see you guys next time.